I'm here with NBA All-Star and Community Assist winner Kevin Garnett. He is accompanied by Chris and Leslie Watson and Dave Daniels from Habitat. And Kevin, today, the NBA, TNT, and the Players Association finished building 2 homes for Habitat for Humanity. Just one example of the great work being done in Houston this week. As one who gives so much back to the community, tell us why this is so special.
I think it was special, but at the same time, it was needed. I was in position that I could give, and I did, and hopefully that it encouraged other people to give. So,
well, congratulations. A big thank you to Kevin Garnett and also to all the NBA All-Stars for all their work in Houston this week.
All right, thanks, Craig. Thank you, Kevin Garnett. Back at our broadcast position, Marv Albert along with Steve Kerr and Doug Collins. It's a 17-point lead for the West at the half. The West, Doug, with a big finish. Late second quarter, they go on a 23-8 run to take command.
Well, Marv, they got out on the fast break led by Tracy McGrady, who's having a terrific first half. Looks to me like he's got a leg up on that MVP trophy playing at home here in front of his home fans. But the little fading baseline jump shot, the dunk off the glass and the pass from Kobe Bryant. Here he is after one of those turnovers, the powerful finish at the basket, and then the lob from Kobe Bryant. So a terrific first half, 8 of 12, 17 points, and has his team with a nice, comfortable lead.
It's still a 2-point game with 5 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the half. As we look at tonight's Jeep game summary, West taking over in those final 5 minutes.
Well, one of the things that Flip Saunders was a little worried about before the game is that the East is a very small team. They only have 4 guys over 6'8". Look at the points in the paint, 50 to 28. The East getting pounded on the glass as well. So they're going to have to pick up the intensity, use their team speed to get back in the game here.
All right, let's go to David Aldridge. David?
Hey, guys, Flip Saunders at halftime said, hey, guys, look, this is fun and everything, but these people came to see you compete as well as throw the ball up all around the place. So let's play the way that we're capable of playing. And don't be surprised if you see Detroit's Fantastic Four make an earlier appearance in the second half, guys.
All right, David, yes, they came on with about 5 minutes to go in the first half. Tracy McGrady gets things going at the start of the third quarter, make it 9 of 13 for Tracy. Here is Vince Carter. Saunders starting with the unit that started the ball game. McGrady, met by Carter, goes to the step back and scores again. So he is on fire. Tracy McGrady with 21 points.
It's good to see him smile again. Marv, last couple weeks have not been kind to him or the Houston Rockets, and so he's having some fun out here today playing great basketball.
Ron James off the mark. Back comes Kobe Bryant. Bryant and Nash in the backcourt. McGrady rebounded by Duncan. It's slapped away. And last touch by Duncan. So the ball to the East. They open up this third quarter with Allen Iverson and Dwayne Wade in the backcourt. Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, and Vince Carter up front. Carter put in the starting lineup, replacing the injured Jermaine O'Neal of the Indiana Pacers. Off shooting game here for Iverson. Nash protecting it. Wade all over him, and a foul.
A rare display of defense in this game. Wade actually put a little heat on Nash in the backcourt, forced the turnover.
Well, you talked about the size differential. The East being the smaller team. Well, Steve, they're going to get themselves back in the game. They're going to have to force some turnovers, get out in the open court, because other than Shaq, they really don't have that powerful presence inside where the West can go inside. Right now, the West being led by McGrady, but East has got to get themselves involved here defensively.
Allen Iverson, always capable of shooting himself back into the game. That's just his first field goal. Missed his opening 5 shots. Yao Ming. Rebound is handled by Shaquille O'Neal. Iverson being watched by Bryant. O'Neal lost the dribble, then able to recover. He scores, and a foul.
It wasn't pretty, but he found a way to get it in. It's going to be interesting to see now. Normally Shaq uses the All-Star game and those games after to get himself really going into the second half of the season. See him picks up the loose ball, sort of tippy-toes it to the basket, but Shaq usually goes on a run after the All-Star game and into the playoffs. We'll see if he can do that again this year, but the Miami Heat need a healthy Shaquille O'Neal.
Nash taking it behind the back. Beautiful pass off the dribble. Tracy McGrady is fouled. Tracy fouled in the act. Foul on Shaq. That is his third.
Doug, you talk about Shaq. Phil Jackson has talked about this for years. Shaq is a guy who kind of paces himself, and he has to, really, because of his size, and I think that the pounding he takes, he looks at the season kind of in the big picture, and I think what he's trying to accomplish now as the season goes on is be at his peak form in the playoffs. Remember a year ago, he got that quad contusion at the end of the season, and that, I thought, really cost him and his team in the playoffs.
Shaq at 33 going on 34. He is the NBA's oldest All-Star. Ron James taking to the rim. It counts. And the foul. Ron will head to the line looking for a three-point play. Foul on Yao Ming. That's his second.
It's just brute strength. I mean, right here, you get a couple of guys who throw their hand in, and he doesn't even feel it. And he goes right through people and finds his way to the basket.
Ron averaging 31 a game, 8 rebounds, third in scoring behind Kobe Bryant. And Allen Iverson, and LeBron James has had 7 40-plus point games this season for the Cavs. 7-0 run by the East, trying to get back into it. But Tim Duncan ends that run.
Well, we talk about second halves of the season. You know, Tim Duncan has been struggling with that foot injury all year long. It's going to be something, I think, that's not going to go away, but he will not sit down. He realizes his team really needs him in that race against Dallas for the home court in the West.
Fadeaway shot by LeBron James. He's been all jump shot and has been very effective. 7 of 13, 17 points.
Well, Duncan and James guarding each other. We'll see if the West squad goes back to Duncan and takes advantage of that size on the post-up.
Nice pass from Yao Ming. McGrady with the bucket, and he is fouled. He'll head back to the line. So the two Houston Rocket teammates able to team up. The foul is called on Vince Carter.
Yao Ming with a beautiful little bounce pass, look away, and that weak side cutter, sometimes always the easiest guy to find in the lane. That defender turns his head just a moment to watch the ball, and Steve, you're always taught to cut behind the vision of that defender. When he loses sight of you, make that strong cut, and Tracy McGrady did, and chance here for the three-point play.
Tracy McGrady opened up 4 of 8, which isn't bad. There's a nice lob for Dwayne Wade. And McGrady has hit 7 of his last 8 from the field. He's the high man with 23 in all.
Now it's a 14-point lead for the West, which equates to about maybe a 3-point lead in any other game. This is still very much in doubt.
Bryant right it on the spin, and Duncan is there for the follow. It counts, and the foul.
I remember the game I was coaching in Cleveland. We were down 20 with about 6 minutes to go in the half, and I mentioned to Michael Jordan that the winners get 20,000, the losers get 10, and in about 3 minutes the game was tied. So you go to the best common denominator there, money. Forget about the X's and the O's and sit back and enjoy.
Well, who's Flip going to go to then in this case?
Let me see.
Maybe his 4 guys, his 4 starters who will likely come in the ball game here in a few minutes.
17-point lead for the Western Conference All-Stars. O'Neal trying to back his way. Nice follow, though. Dwayne Wade is there and was able to finish. McGrady. We have seen this on a number of occasions where he feels it and he explodes. A 3 for Tracy McGrady to extend that West lead. Iverson goes high off glass.
Doug, you mentioned the fact that the game picks up late. It's starting to pick up.
Shaq with the shove of Yao and says, "I'm sorry," as he is called for the foul. That is number 4 on Shaquille O'Neal. Well, national coverage of the NBA continues this week. Tuesday on NBA TV, it's the Blazers and Lakers coverage starting at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Wednesday on ESPN, it's the Bucks and the Bulls starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And then on Sunday on ABC, the Cavaliers and the Pistons starting at 12 noon. And And here is Ben Wallace checking in for Shaquille O'Neal. Just collected his 4th foul, and a 20-second timeout has been called. Tracy McGrady, 12 of 17 for 26 points. And you can see the look on Tracy's face. And as I mentioned earlier, it appears they are setting him up, because they love to see Tracy take MVP honors here in Houston. 26 points in 16 minutes. For those who may have been wondering, most points in an All-Star game, and this is not necessarily a Steve Wonders. Wilt Chamberlain in 1962, 42 points. Michael Jordan had 40 in 88. Rick Barry in the 67 game, 38. Remember Kevin Garnett taking MVP honors with that 37-point game and a double overtime win by the West. That was in Atlanta 3 years ago. And Allen Iverson had 35 in that game.
Was that a Marv Moles? Is that what that was? I mean, you kind of stole my thunder. That's what I do, Marv, and you stole it from me.
I know you're taking it personally, but Marv Moles, I kind of like the ring to that.
Yeah, don't get used to it. We're not using it.
Unsponsored. 85-68, West with the big lead. There's Chris Bosh of the Raptors just came on. You can hear that hack. Foul is called on Duncan.
You know, as I sit here, Marvin, I watch these terrific athletes. You know, back in the 70s when I played, in the 80s or whatever, the athletes, there was speed and quickness. But the thing that amazes me when I look at it is the power of these athletes today. I mean, you look at LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, these Kobe Bryant. These guys are quick, fast, but the power in their bodies. We see them going to the basket, contact, they take it, they finish. It really, to me, is where the game has changed. The game was fast and it was quick, but now you throw in that power, and it has taken the game to a new level.
And you're talking about guys who are unbelievably skilled.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking guys who shoot threes, who handle the ball, and I think that's where I see the biggest change as well. Guys like LeBron going a foot above the rim to get a rebound and then doing whatever he wants on the floor.
Oh, what a move by Dwayne Wade.
Two plays right there. The incredible rebound by LeBron James, and then the great finish by Dwayne Wade when he was bumped as he went to the basket.
Wade 16 points, 7 of 9 from the field. Just under 7.5 remaining in this third quarter. The East making a run here in the third. Iverson back to Wade. He delivers to James. And this is beginning to get interesting. The West has led by as many as 21, and they now lead by 12.
Well, you get some defensive stops, and you can use your speed.
Avery Johnson getting set to make some changes. James with a nice play from behind, took it away from Duncan. Here is Wade, kicks it out. Iverson, yes.
In the first half, those were turnovers because they were throwing the ball all over the place. The East was. Now all of a sudden you're starting to see better decision making. That's why they're getting back into the game.
Bryant off the fake and ran into his own man in a collision with Yao Ming.
Yao Ming is smiling. He didn't know where to go.
He found it amusing.
Kobe was all over the place.
Here is LeBron James for 3. LeBron James continues his outstanding shooting, 9 of 15. He has 22 points, a 10-0 run by the East. They are now within 7. A 25-9 run, taking it back even further. So the East shooting its way back. 6:19 left, third quarter. Tonight's helicopter aerials of Houston, Texas, brought to you in high definition by Dish Network. As we welcome you back to the Toyota Center, and tonight's All-Star game features 6 foreign-born players. Count them, 6. And in tonight's NBA Planet, we take a quick world tour. We have Steve Nash on hand out of Victoria, British Columbia. Tim Duncan from the Virgin Islands. Pau Gasol out of Barcelona, Spain. Tony Parker from Paris, France. Dirk Nowitzki from Wurzburg, Germany. And Yao Ming from Shanghai, China. Tonight's game ties the record of 6 international-born players that was set during the game back in 2004. So Yao, the first ever overall #1 draft pick to come from an international basketball league.
And Marv, you notice all 6 of those international players on the Western Conference squad as Brand knocks down the jumper. Clearly, the Eastern Conference team's not doing a very good job of international scouting.
And here is LeBron James again from downtown.
Well, East has worked himself back into this game, and they've done it by forcing turnovers.
Nice play, Marion again. And a foul, although the East looking for a traveling violation. A moment ago, LeBron James with the 3. He's 4 of 7 from beyond that 3-point line. Sean Marion to the line, and we'll check in with Craig Sager.
Well, Mark, 2 of those international players, Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki, were teammates with Dallas for 6 years. They now lead their respective teams, Western Conference rivals. They're both in first place. And we talked a little about the All-Star game. What's it like to have your old teammate back?
It's been great. Obviously, it's too bad we don't get to play together anymore, but it's nice at least once a year.
Dirk, we talked about the international influx, but also we were talking about how maybe you revolutionized the game as a 7-footer with the threes. You won the 3-point shootout last night. Talk a little bit about the game and how Nelly was able to let you do what you want to do best.
Yeah, I mean, he gave me a lot of confidence. I think there were not a lot of coaches back then who liked the 7-footer dribbling up and jacking up shots, and he always gave me a lot of freedom, and I owe him a lot. And, I think the game nowadays goes away from all the post up and backing up in 10 dribbles. I think every big man, every power forward can put the ball on the floor a little bit now and make a little shot. It's been fun to watch.
Thanks a lot. Both of you have been fun to watch. Back to you, Mark.
All right, thank you, Craig. Ron James on the foul. Sean Marion to the foul line. Ron James, 10 of 16, 25 points. Well, we have a moment here. We'd like to wish our very best to Brian and Betty McIntyre. Brian is the Senior Vice President of Basketball Communications for the NBA, and he and his wife Betty involved in an automobile accident last week. We're told they suffered bumps and bruises. They're on the way to recovery. Brian is particularly upset about missing tonight's game. He had been to every NBA All-Star game since back in 1980. But they are recovering quickly back in the New York area, back home, and hope to see the McIntyres very soon.
Yeah, it's not the same here not seeing Brian. He's always that smiling face you can see and go, and he loves this game so much, so both of you guys get well quickly.
Foul on Marion. That puts James at the line, so that West lead is down to 9 points. LeBron James, 1 of 3 at the free throw line. The West is led by as many as 21. There's a rare all-star call by Dick Bavetta. A palming violation is called.
But didn't you guys have one in the game the other night? Who was it? Iverson was guarding Heinrich?
Kurt Heinrich, yeah.
And Heinrich, or who got called on?
Heinrich carried the ball, and Iverson pointed and said, hey, that's a carry. We thought that's the most ironic thing of all time. Iverson complaining about somebody else carrying.
Here is Billups. Might call that a Heinrich maneuver. Then again, you might.
But
sorry. All right. Nice touch by Ray Allen. The truck reacting badly to that. Killed here.
Steve wants you to stay with Marv Mulls.
Down to 4.5 remaining in the third quarter. 94-83. The West on top, and the key number, the East only 1 turnover thus far in this third quarter. The West with 6, in contrast to what took place in the first half. And that pass from Parker ends up in the crowd.
That's just a situation where guys don't read each other well. Marion, when he gets on that baseline, loves to cut to the basket on the backside of that rim. And that's what he started to do, and Parker threw the ball behind him.
That's a Spurs play frequently where they throw the ball back to the corner to dump it into Tim Duncan. So you're right, just a miscommunication from 2 guys who are used to playing a little differently.
Allen tried the 3. And here comes Billups. Billups and Wade now in the backcourt for the East with James, Bosch, and Ben Wallace up front. A 3-pointer. It's down to a 6-point West lead. So Billups has 8. That's his second 3 of the night. And the pass from Parker. Carried out of bounds. Pau Gasol saying no, it was deflected out. Another turnover by the West. And the East back in possession.
That's 3 turnovers in a row for Tony Parker. Somewhere, Greg Popovich is not happy.
And particularly unhappy because he cannot scream at Tony.
Probably is yelling at him. You just can't hear it.
Here is Allen twisting his way. And it's deflected out. This time last touch by the East, knocked out of bounds by Ben Wallace.
Well, with all these turnovers, we talked, Marv, a while ago, what's happening now is the West is turning the ball over and the East is getting out into a running game, so they're starting to use their speed, whereas in the first half it was the West that was careless. Excuse me, the East that was careless. Now in this period it's been the West.
Rip Hamilton, Paul Pierce come back in for the Eastern squad, so it's Billups and Hamilton in the backcourt. With Bosch, Pierce, and Ben Wallace up front. Pau Gasol looks to put a move on, and then nice pass. Marion not able to put it down. Here comes Billups. Pierce. It is down to a 4-point West lead.
Now it gets competitive. Now you're going to see both teams want to win the game.
7 straight points for the East. Allen, a finish by Marion.
Well, that's a common theme. We've seen that so often. The Suns so quick, they come at you so hard, and then you're out of rebounding position because of it.
Elton Brand comes up with a steal. Tony Parker and Ray Allen in the backcourt is Parker. Back comes Billups. He pulls up for the 3. Rebounded by Bosch. Hamilton using the pick. And Wallace put on the brakes. Bosch, yes.
Well, he's really improved his game. He's got a soft shooting touch, is rebounding well, blocking shots. Toronto got off to a horrible start this year, but they're starting to be a lot more competitive. I guess other than that game that they gave up 81 to Kobe Bryant, they played much better basketball over the last 35 games.
8 points, 8 rebounds for Bosch. Here's Gasol. Knocked out of his hands by Wallace. That's his 3rd block. Gasol blocked again, and a 24-second violation.
You know, most guys want to show off their offensive game in an all-star competition. Not Ben Wallace. This is what he does. He defends, and he's having some fun out here showing why he's the 3-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Look at that extension.
2 in a row for Ben Wallace on Pau Gasol.
Welcome back to Houston, where the East has cut the West lead down to 4. The NBA and Southwest Airlines recognize Diego Carmona and Carrington Marzette for their display of strength and courage during their stay at the Ronald McDonald House. For the 2nd straight year, the NBA and Southwest Airlines have teamed up through the Shoot for Hope program to give families who have stayed at Ronald McDonald houses the opportunity to experience NBA games and meet their favorite NBA players. Shoot for Hope is a part of NBA Cares, the league's global community outreach initiative.
All right, thank you, Craig. The West with a 96-92 lead after leading by as many as 21. Here's Hamilton, and he brings the East within 2.
What a tough shot. Is there anybody in the league better at curling those screens and getting in the lane? Rip is a master.
Well, we've got 4 Pistons on the floor, so look for Flip Saunders to run some of the Pistons' own stuff to get some good shots here.
Yes, Rasheed Wallace checking in to make it for Detroit Pistons. The tip missed by Marion, but a foul is called.
Rip Hamilton, the best in the league, moving without the basketball. Look the way he sets his man up. Sean Marion, a terrific defender, but the little curl. What happens is Rip now has also become very adept at when you help on that, he kicks that ball out, and when Rasheed Wallace sets the screen, he fades away from the basket, and then he has the open jump shot. So Rip was always very good at getting his own shot. Where he's really improved is making plays for his teammates when they really hedge out on those screens.
Both teams are now over the foul limit. West up by 3. Billups trying to put a move on Parker. Now Billups for 3. Rebounded by Brand. Parker and Allen at the guards. Marion, Brand, and Gasol up front. Now, at the start of the night, there was concern about Pau Gasol having touch of the flu. Durant puts the spin on, and an offensive foul is called. And the question was, how many minutes would Pau play? And his coach, Mike Fratello, concerned. Pau's been out there all night, it seems. 14 minutes.
Now you're going to make Mike so nervous.
That's the idea.
I knew that's why I was your straight man there.
But Pau told us he's feeling much better. Here's Rasheed Wallace for three, way off, rebounded by Gasol.
Look at that catch.
Marion saved that lob that was off the mark, and they will reset.
Or 10 turnovers in this quarter by the West. That's why the East has gotten within 3.
4-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock as this quarter winds down. Off the back tap, kept alive by Marion. Here is Allen for three. Gasol made the extra pass and it cost. Time runs out.
Now one pass too many. Gasol probably could have thrown up the jump hook. But as it is, the East has made quite a comeback here, just down 3.
The East outscoring the West in the third, 41-27, led by LeBron James. 13 of his 25 coming in the third quarter.
Well, you got to shut T-Mac down now. Come on. All right, let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's go, Bron. Give me one then. That's what I'm talking about. Charles said it was over. Charles said it was over. There you go. Yeah, Big Ben. Yeah, Big Ben. Yeah, Big Ben.
Well, Shaq referring to Charles Barkley, who said during our studio show at halftime that it's all over. West up by 17 at the half. So that's what the All-Stars do at halftime. They're checking out the studio show. Want to see what the guys have to say.
But what's Charles doing saying it's over in an All-Star game? It doesn't matter if it's 30 points. I mean, it's going to be close at the end.
Fourth quarter is underway. Here's Rasheed Wallace wide open. Rebounded by Sean Marion. Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Garnett back on the floor. And they're up front with Sean Marion. Parker and Allen at the guards. Fourth quarter just underway. Marion not able to handle that pass. Sailed over his head. And the ball back to the East.
It looks like Avery Johnson has worked out the minutes. The guys who have played the least minutes are Kevin Garnett and Dirk Nowitzki. So I expect him to play most of this fourth quarter.
Phillips. It counts and the foul. So he gets the roll. He'll head to the line with an opportunity to tie the game. 10 points now for Billups.
It's another one of those powerful athletes we were talking about earlier, Steve. Not only the speed and the quickness, the ability to get in the lane and take that hit. And Chauncey Billups, one of the most powerful point guards in the NBA, can pull up and shoot that three with ease, get into the lane and get the three-point play.
So the game is tied at 97. The East has come back from a 21-point deficit. First time this game has been tied since it was even at 41 apiece. Shot clock down to 5.
The UConn guys faced off against one another here. Rip Hamilton and Ray Allen.
Here's Garnett. Just did get it off.
There's that Piston defense.
Phillips getting it down low, and Rasheed Wallace banks it home. The East has taken the lead, 99-97.
Yeah, we'll see if the West meets the challenge here. Game is on now.
Here is Marion. Nowitzki lost it. Marion on the follow, and a foul is called. So the East out in front for the first time since back in the first quarter, and they're doing it with 4 Pistons on the floor. And you look back in All-Star history, the last time that a team had 4 All-Star representatives, the Lakers in '98, Sixers did it, '83, Celtics doing it twice.
And you're seeing the effects right now. I mean, Detroit at one end defending hard, and then at the other they're getting good shots. They're so used to playing with each other. They're aware of each other's tendencies, and they're running some of Flip Saunders' offense. Yeah, they're putting some heat on the West squad right now.
Here is Billups. Yes. And you look back, surprisingly, only 2 of the previous 6 teams that were loaded with 4 All-Stars won the NBA title that particular season. The 61-62 Celtics and the 82-83 Sixers of Maurice Cheeks, Julius Erving, Moses Malone, and Andrew Toney. Here's Garnett again. That shot clock running down, and you can see the significance of the way Detroit plays defense.
They're defending, and the West is really just going one-on-one, and now you're going to see the East run a play. This is a play they run for Rip Hamilton. He throws this ball back to Rasheed, or he hits the little baseline jump shot.
Nowitzki. Now Allen. Ray Allen takes to the rim. And the game is tied at 101. That Boston Celtic team that went on to win the title after placing 4 of their players on the All-Star squad. Bob Cousy, Tom Heinsohn, Sam Jones, and Bill Russell back in 61-62.
You wonder if Chauncey Billups is going at Tony Parker with a little thought in mind of perhaps meeting in June.
I was thinking the same thing, Steve.
Hamilton able to finish as Billups ran the break with his teammate. The East again up by 2. Parker able to recover, then lost it. Here comes Ben Wallace, 3-on-1. I was going to say for the Pistons as Billups puts it down.
And you would have been correct.
That's right.
And that is last touch by Ray Allen to the West. The ball back to the East.
You were right, Marv. The Detroit Pistons get out on the fast break here. Wallace, after the steal, gets it to Hamilton, who finds Billups. East by 4.
Better than 18,000 here at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. One more review along Celebrity Road as we check it out. There's Mary J. Blige. Snoop Dogg on hand. Beyonce with Jay-Z.
Keep it on Beyonce. Forget Jay-Z.
That's terrible. Donald Faison from Scrubs and Remember the Titans. And Eva Longoria of Desperate Housewives, a close personal friend of Tony Parker. Eva very shy. An 11-4 run by the East here in this 4th quarter. All 11 points scored by the Pistons. And Billups draws the foul. How this game is picked up. And that occurred late in the 3rd when the East made its run. And they have taken command. How about Chauncey Billups in his 4th quarter? 7 points, 2 assists. He's had a part in all 11 East points.
And it's all been about the turnovers. 13 first half turnovers for the East, only 2 in the second half, 14 turnovers for the West.
Gilbert Arenas rebounded by Steve Nash. Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady have checked back in for Avery Johnson, and a foul is called as Arenas picks it up, try to block Bryant from going baseline.
How do you decide who plays, Doug? When you're coaching, you got 12 All-Stars, and it seems like you just sort of mix and match and try to get guys some minutes.
Well, you almost chart it out like an exhibition game when you're coaching to get guys minutes. It's almost predetermined. Otherwise, you lose track of it during the course of the game, and then somebody gets upset. That's what your assistant coaches are over there doing right now, charting all those minutes.
Rare miss from McGrady, who just came on. Pierce cut off by Bryant.
Let's go, let's go.
Shaquille O'Neal backing Kevin Garnett, and he scores. So the East now up by 6. And that's their biggest lead of the night. McGrady getting inside, and he'll head to the line. And McGrady is pushed. 2 shots coming up for Tracy McGrady. This is a 17-point lead for the West at halftime. They've led by as many as 21. Marv Albert with Steve Kerr, Doug Collins, Craig Sager, David Aldridge from Houston. It's the 55th annual NBA All-Star Game. Last year in Denver, East came up with a win. Allen Iverson, the most valuable player. The West had won 3 in a row, 4 of the previous 5. The major story coming into tonight's All-Star game, the fact that the Pistons, with 4 of their players making the Eastern Conference squad, and they have been a factor in this comeback.
Go ahead, Steve.
I was going to say, we talked early in the telecast about whether it would really matter that they play together, and it sure has in the fourth quarter. Wallace tees up the 3 and misses, but this is a game, this is a quarter where the familiarity of the Pistons together just made a huge difference in that little 5-minute spell. That's how the East has gotten this lead.
Foul is called on Bryant. That is his 4th. Shaquille O'Neal to the line. He's 1 of 3 at the line on the season, 49% from the free throw line. And here's the cheers as he hits the first of 2. Shaq averaging 19 points, 9 rebounds. Those are actually career lows. Comes off the early season injury. (109-102). The East with the lead. Here is Bryant. Rebounded by Duncan. And he lost it. Shaquille O'Neal now on the front line with Rasheed Wallace and LeBron James. James with that change of pace pops it out. Now James for 3.
We got it.
Rebounded by O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal with the stuff.
Shaq, don't pull the rim down in an all-star game, please.
Meanwhile, Shaq unable to get down court in time as the West hustled its way, and Duncan was able to score. East now up by 7. And here's James, draws the foul.
When he gets in there, you can't stop him. You got to hope that he misses a shot. He's just like a runaway locomotive. He just picks up speed as he goes inside. And it's interesting, Steve, when you watch him, he's got this little thing now that he cradles the ball. So when he goes in, he sort of cradles it like a halfback, running back, and at the last minute sort of unfolds and then goes to the basket so the ball can't be knocked loose.
Yeah, something we've seen Stephon Marbury do a lot in the past. He'll get going and cradle it, and here we'll get a look at it. And when you're this strong and you can go right up in between people, you're going to get to the foul line an awful lot.
Foul on Garnett as LeBron only 1 of 4 at the line. NBA fans, remember to go to NBA.com or AOL.com/NBA and vote for who you think should win the 2006 All-Star Game MVP. LeBron James has missed his last 4 at the line. Yao Ming is checked back in as McGrady goes to the crossover and hits. A gorgeous move by Tracy McGrady. And that was from downtown. Here's James for 3. Rebounded by O'Neal. Iverson. Yes, nice fadeaway off the spin by Allen Iverson. The East 113, the West 107, just under 6 minutes to play in the 4th. Yao comes out to set the pick. See Shaq switching off on McGrady, and Yao was wide open.
Well, Duncan read it perfectly. Shaq was out trying to string out that screen and roll so that McGrady couldn't get the shot. He punched into the open area, just made a bad pass. Once again, the turnover is really haunting the Western Conference here in the second half.
Back in Houston, time for tonight's special All-Star edition of Steve Wonders, which still remains unsponsored.
Oh, we already had Marv Mulls, and I hope everybody enjoyed it. But tonight, we've got this East squad that has overcome a 21-point deficit. I'm wondering, when was the last time in an All-Star game, don't laugh, that one team came back from 21 down? Ironically enough, there it is. In 2001, the East squad was 21 down. And Doug, you said they went to 4 guards.
And Mutombo.
And Dikembe Mutombo came back and won the game, 111-110.
And Allen Iverson with 15 of his 25 points in the final 9 minutes.
And it was interesting. Larry Brown was the East coach, the Eastern coach, and he traded for Mutombo right after that game, and they went to the NBA Finals. So it's funny how impressions last in moments like that.
Right here, the East up by 6. Iverson. And back comes Bryant. Avery Johnson hoping that Kobe Bryant or Tracy McGrady can catch fire and get the West going. Here's McGrady for 3. And Iverson able to run it down. The West gets back. Gilbert Arenas for 3. Rebounded by Yao Ming. Bryant passed on the 3 and lost it. James knocked it aside, recovered by Bryant.
Did you see him get that ball back? Can't believe he recovered that.
Duncan had it slapped away. Last touch by the East, and the West has 4 on the shot clock. Now Dwayne Wade will come on for Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert not able to get going. 0 for 4 in his 10 minutes.
Yeah, I expected him to play well today, Marv. He struggled last year, and he said he was a little nervous. He is coming off a 4 for 20 night, though, the other night in Dallas.
McGrady rimming out, rebounded by Ben Wallace. Eastern squad with Iverson and Wade now at the guards, and Wade off the bench and immediately knocks it down. The East 115, the West 107. Here's Bryant for 3, way off. Rebounded by Ben Wallace. Iverson with that skip dribble goes behind the back, but Ben Wallace could not handle that strong pass.
See if the West will go into Yao Ming. Nobody's even looking at him out here.
Well, Bryant did, but hit him right in the forehead. Not what he had in mind. Let's go to David Aldridge.
Vince, you were on that team in 2001 that made the big comeback in the East. 16 points, fourth quarter, great crowd in Washington. How'd this game turn around?
We just felt like we didn't bring the energy early, and we wanted to give the crowds a show, but they wanted to win in the beginning, so we decided to come out. We're just gonna play hard and see what happens in the fourth.
Those Pistons are pretty good defensively, aren't they?
Yeah, they got a few years together.
You play with this young fellow over here, Bosh. What's his future looking like?
I think he has a very bright future. He deserves everything he's gotten. He deserves to be here. And, he's one of the best big men in this league right now, and that's why he's my man. And I'm proud of him.
All right, thanks very much, Fitz. Back to you, Marv.
All right, thank you, David. Things getting heated here between Kobe Bryant and LeBron James.
A little shove looked like from Kobe, trying to fend off LeBron.
Iverson and James with the finish. LeBron James has had a sensational game. 27 points, 11 of 19 from the field, and the East now leads by 10. Foul is called. It is on Ben Wallace.
Remember, this play sort of happened before where LeBron picked Kobe. He got the ball back. This time you see the little shove there by Kobe. Things getting very competitive here. And this is what you expect in the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter. A little circus shot by Allen Iverson, and there is LeBron James. He has been fabulous.
Nash got the step. McGrady, he is fouled.
You know what's amazing to me, Marv, is with LeBron James out there right now with Rasheed Wallace and Ben Wallace, the West cannot get to the basket. They have totally shut the lane down. Everything has been a contested shot, either a three-pointer, and it just shows you the power of that defense. And LeBron James right now is taking the challenge defensively to go with the two Wallaces, and the West can't get to the basket.
How about McGrady, 1 of 6 at the line. West just 12 for 21 at the foul line. The East only 13 of 24. Timeout has been called. 3:12 left in the fourth. The East looking to hold on, up by 10.
Are you? Hey!
See Rasheed shoot the 3 lefty?
Pick and roll, y'all. Nice. Nice.
I feel we're being outcoached by their assistant coaches.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
I'm not
so.
going to argue that.
Tim Duncan taking a shot at the assistant coaches, talking with Joe Prunty, the assistant coach on the Maverick staff, former assistant with San Antonio. We'd like to thank all the guys who wore the wireless microphones tonight, players and coaches, providing us with that kind of sound.
I'm glad people are getting to hear Tim Duncan's sense of humor. He is a very funny man. You hear him giving the jabs to his old assistant in San Antonio, and obviously having a lot of fun out here tonight.
Tracy McGrady at the line. As I mentioned, 1 of 6 from the foul line. He has not been able to recapture the touch that we saw earlier in the game.
He is 3 of 8 from the three-point line. The rest of his teammates are 0 for 15.
James changed his mind, finding Ben Wallace, and he's pushed by Dirk Nowitzki. And that puts the West over the foul limit. And Ben Wallace will go to the line where he has shot 45% during the regular season. Now look at the high point men. Tracy McGrady with 31. Then with the air ball in his first attempt, Tim Duncan with 15. LeBron James led the way for the East, 27 points, 11 of 19 from the field. Strong game for Dwayne Wade, 8 of 10, 18 points. And how about Chauncey Billups, 15 points, 7 assists in 16 minutes. And he and his Piston teammates sparked the East in this come-from-behind effort. They were down by as many as 21, and now McGrady knocks down a 3, and you never know if McGrady is able to catch fire, and we have all seen that on a number of occasions. 117-111. The East with the 6-point advantage. Iverson. Here comes Nash. Nowitzki. Double teamed and fouled by Wallace. So the East also over the foul limit.
Well, you start thinking about MVP at this stage of the game, and you've got to think that if the West can somehow pull out this comeback victory, Tracy McGrady, the obvious choice. On the East side, certainly looks like LeBron James would be your favorite if they hang on to win.
Remember now the All-Star record is what, 42 points. Tracy McGrady with 34. Still 2.5 minutes to go in this game. That's still plenty of time for him to get into the 40s, and especially if the game could go into overtime, we might see a record here in front of his home crowd.
Well, Marv and I were here the night that he scored 13 in about 34 seconds in this building against San Antonio. So we know he can do it in a hurry.
Good job by Brand getting to that rebound, but not able to hit on the jumper. The last time a player from a losing squad won the MVP is LeBron James, with a spectacular move, was able to hang and twist his way to the rim.
That was shocking.
That was the best move of the game.
Here's the alley-oop. And Tracy McGrady now with 36 points. It's a 5-point East lead. The last time that a player on a losing team in the All-Star game took the MVP award, 1990, was Magic Johnson. Won MVP honors. Here's Rasheed Wallace stepping back for 3. Kobe Bryant very quiet tonight, just 2 of 8 from the field. McGrady using the screen, shoots for 3. Rebounded by Nowitzki.
Shaq's got to cover Nowitzki here right now. If they run a pick and roll or something, he can fade out and maybe get a 3.
Nice pass from Bryant. Broken up, though, by Wade. Was able to slap it away from Brand.
Well, we ran the screen and roll, but O'Neal just stayed with Nowitzki.
He stayed attached to him.
He doesn't want to give up that 3. That means there's going to be some openings in the paint.
22nd timeout is called by the Western Conference. East up 119-114. We're down to 1 minute and 23 remaining in this fourth quarter. And Steve, as you mentioned, with Tracy McGrady on the floor, you never know.
No, you never know. There's plenty of time. I don't know if I've ever seen a guy who can shoot the ball as easily as Tracy McGrady. Maybe Vince Carter and Kobe can be thrown into that category, but we saw those guys shooting from half court yesterday in the practice sessions, just shooting normal jump shots. Their strength is amazing.
And he does that little lean back. He's 6'8" anyway, and he leans back away from the defense. He's been spectacular, but Steve, the move that LeBron James made was the move of the game. All these dunks and stuff, those are nice, but what he did with that finish, that was spectacular.
Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, Marv, earlier we were talking about Avery Johnson running offense and running plays yesterday at the scrimmage. It's going to pay off here because he has a play set up when he needs a three-pointer, and it is Kobe Bryant who is the man that will get this ball because they worked on it yesterday in practice.
And as I mentioned a moment ago, Bryant just 2 of 8 from the field. 25 minutes of play, does have 8 assists and 6 rebounds. Kobe trying to free himself up. He does, and he fires over Wade and comes up short. Nowitzki on the follow. Dwayne Wade all over Kobe Bryant. That was the design play, as Craig just told us, but Kobe had very little room to operate. It's a 3-point East lead, and a foul is called. Both teams are over the limit. Foul on Bryant. That is number 5. Let's take another look at that move by LeBron James.
Marv, I talked about the power. Look at him as he takes his ball, slices between 2 players off the glass with his left hand. I mean, he made it look so easy when you're sitting here and you see the speed and the grace of that move.
Almost reminded you of the Michael Jordan move in the finals, I believe, against Portland when he went up with the right hand. And then I know you were there. Because was it the Lakers? Yeah, over AC Green. That's right. You made the call, Marv. I remember that very well.
A spectacular move by Jordan.
Are you guys all right?
Yeah. We were honoring you.
It's a great call.
Thank you very much. All right, here's Iverson. An 80% free throw shooter looking for his 13th point. He had 1 point at halftime, and now looking for number 13. So the East up 120-116 with a minute remaining. Here's Bryant to the rim. Kobe Bryant able to get the step on Dwayne Wade. It's a 2-point East lead, and we're down to 50 seconds left in the 4th. Wallace trying to set the pick. James shoots for 3.
I don't like that shot in those circumstances.
Here's Bryant protecting the dribble. Took his eye off it for a moment. Deflected out by Iverson.
Again, LeBron James can get to that rim anytime he wants to. And if you look out on the East, there's absolutely no shot blockers out there at all. So go to the front of that rim, get fouled, and go to the line.
A timeout taken. 37 seconds to play in the 4th quarter. The East up by 2 when we resume. The West in possession. Well, as Avery Johnson plots things out, we'll tell you that coverage of the NBA will continue this week with another doubleheader here on TNT. On Thursday, it's the Pacers and the Pistons, followed by Ron Artest and the Sacramento Kings going up against Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. Coverage starting 8 o'clock Eastern Time with NBA tip-off presented by Nokia, all part of the NBA's rivalry week here on TNT. And be sure to check out TNT Overtime only on NBA.com. 37 seconds remaining in the 4th. Avery Johnson telling his guys, take a quick shot. That's exactly what Kobe Bryant does.
Can I take my best move of the game back? Did you see him split 2 guys? I think he took the ball between his legs.
Between his legs backwards, just like Avery Johnson drew it up.
Yeah, oh yeah, good coaching there.
Game is tied at 120. Here's Iverson coming up short. Wade, and the East leads by 2 with 16 and 6/10 seconds remaining in the 4th. Timeout called, and the West will be in possession.
Well, we saw the spectacular move by James. How about this one? Through the legs, reverse, and then the fadeaway jumper to tie the game. But Dwayne Wade at the other end is going to put the East squad back up. He's going to get the offensive board off the Iverson miss. And we see the East up by 2, the reaction of the bench.
We're back at the Toyota Center in Houston with 16 and 6/10 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. Both teams are over the foul limit. The West out of timeouts. East with 2 full. Doug, in an all-star game, do you go for a 3 for the game winner?
I do. I run it out here, see if I can get me a 3 to win the game and stuff. These players don't want to probably stay here and play overtime anyway. Roll the dice and go for the win.
Well, and since you're in Houston and Tracy McGrady's really the only guy who's been consistently making threes tonight, I think you go right to T-Mac here.
And I know Kobe's chomping at the bit to take this last shot, too. T-Mac going to isolate here.
All right, McGrady played by James. McGrady. That was deflected short, kept alive by Bryant, and stolen by Rasheed Wallace, and that will do it. Here's Iverson putting off the glass, and again the stuff is missed by Vince Carter, but the East has come away with the victory.
What if he would have missed that dunk and would have bounced back to a guy for a 3-point shot? Thank God the clock ran out for them.
That's the second time that Vince Carter has gone off the back rim.
I thought McGrady got fouled here on this shot. We'll see if LeBron maybe gets him on the wrist. Sure looked like it. Didn't look like he got a piece of the ball. But LeBron's defense, Doug, was pretty good here in the second half.
I think he also knows that they're not going to call fouls on jump shooters late in the game. Here's Carter, misses it. The ball goes all the way back. Had there been more time, they might have got a 3-point shot off.
Well, the East coming back from a 21-point deficit, and they defeat the West 122-120. Tracy McGrady, the high point man, with 36. LeBron James with 29. Will have the MVP winner in a moment. Back in Houston, a come-from-behind victory for the East over the West in this 55th annual NBA All-Star Game. We're set for the naming of the MVP honors for tonight. Let's go to Terrell Gray on the public address.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to center court and TNT's Ernie Johnson.
All right, thank you very much. It is time to hand out some hardware to the most valuable player of this game, and to do the honors is the commissioner of the NBA, David Stern.
If I might first, I'd love to thank the people of Houston, Les Alexander, and the Rockets in the great state of Texas for hosting us in this extraordinary All-Star Week. The Toyota Center is quite a place to have a basketball game, and thank you. And if I could do one more thing, a most valuable player for the NBA for the last 30 years, 22 as deputy commissioner, is a guy by the name of Russ Granick. And I'd like you to join me in giving Russ a hand in his last NBA All-Star game. Come on up, Russ. He's been putting words in my mouth, so I'm going to put words in his mouth as he presents the MVP trophy. And the MVP trophy, big surprise, goes to LeBron James, who with 29 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists, and a host of other intangibles, is the youngest MVP in the history of the NBA All-Star Game. Congratulations, LeBron.
All right, young man, you heard the commissioner say it, and to be exact, Oscar Robertson was 22 years and 55 days old when he won the MVP of the All-Star Game. You are 21 years and 55 days, exactly 1 year earlier. What does this mean to you, Bron?
Man, it means a lot. You know, the hard work and dedication has paid off, and you know, I'd like to thank the fans for voting me in as a starter, and I was just showcasing my talent today in this. You know, we got another win.
Want to tell me what kind of jump started you guys? Because at the half it was a 17-point game. You were down by 21 at one point.
I think Charles Barkley kickstarted us. I heard at halftime he said that the game was over. So I'd like to thank Charles for kickstarting us.
Exactly. LeBron James, congratulations on winning the most valuable player. It's LeBron James, folks, one more time.
So LeBron James, 29 points, 12 of 21 from the field. He had 13 of the 29 in the third quarter when the East started its comeback. Coming up, following a quick break, we'll be back here in Houston to wrap it up.